It was one of those gray afternoons when the sky seemed too heavy for the world beneath it. Raindrops chased each other down the cafe window, blurring everything outside into soft watercolor streaks. Inside, the hum of conversation mixed with the low hiss of an espresso machine. Warm light pooled on the wooden tables, and the faint smell of roasted coffee hung in the air like a comfort you could almost touch. At a corner table, Aaron, a man of quiet eyes and careful movements, sat lost in his thoughts. He wore a white shirt, sleeves rolled neatly to his elbows, a navy blue apron, and dark trousers. His hands were steady, the kind that remembered both hard work and soft forgiveness. He often spent his slow hours after lunch arranging mugs, cleaning the counter, and watching people. Strangers passing through moments he'd never fully know. Then the cafe door opened with a soft chime, and a gust of rain swept in. A woman stepped inside, shaking off her umbrella. Her light brown coat was damp at the edges, her white knitted sweater carrying traces of the cold outside. Behind her was a girl, about 10 years old, with a shy, curious face framed by light brown hair tied in 2 small pigtails. She wore a pink knitted sweater, blue denim overalls, and white sneakers that squelched softly on the floor. The woman looked around uncertainly. Every table seemed taken. Her daughter tugged gently at her sleeve, pointing to an empty seat by the window. She hesitated, then led the girl toward it. Only, it wasn't empty. The seat belonged to Aaron. She didn't notice until she'd already pulled out the chair, setting her handbag behind her. "Oh, I'm sorry," she murmured, half rising again. But Aaron shook his head with a polite smile. "It's all right. You can sit here if you like. The place is a bit crowded today." She smiled faintly, hesitant but grateful. The girl slid into the seat beside her, swinging her legs under the table. "If you believe in kindness, second chances, and quiet, moments that change lives, please take a second to like, comment, share, and subscribe. These stories live because hearts like yours listen." For a while, they sat in silence. The woman looked through the menu, but her eyes weren't reading. The girl's gaze, though, was caught elsewhere, drawn to the display case near the counter, where a row of fresh croissants and cookies sat golden and perfect behind glass. Aaron noticed. He saw the way the girl's eyes lingered, the way she tried not to stare too long. He'd seen that look before, the quiet hunger that hides behind good manners. Her mother must have noticed too, because she gently turned the menu away from her daughter's line of sight, pretending to decide what to order. But her fingers were trembling, the kind of tremble that comes from more than just cold. The waitress passed by, and the woman asked for a single cup of tea. No food, just tea. She tightened. He didn't know their story, but he didn't need to. Sometimes you can hear the truth without a single word spoken. He walked to the counter, quietly picked up a warm croissant and a cup of hot chocolate, and brought them to their table. "Someone left their order behind," he said casually. "You'd be helping me if you took it." The woman blinked, unsure how to respond. "Oh, we didn't..." But before she could finish, the girl looked up at him with wide, grateful eyes. "Thank you," she whispered, barely audible, as if afraid to break the kindness. Aaron smiled softly. "You're very welcome." The woman's lips trembled. She wanted to refuse, pride, embarrassment, habit, but one look at her daughter's small hands cupping the warm mug and all her resistance melted. Sometimes love means accepting kindness you can't repay. Time drifted slowly after that. The cafe quieted as the rain deepened outside. Aaron busied himself, but his eyes kept finding them, the mother and her 10-year-old daughter sharing, a croissant as if it were the most precious thing in the world. When most customers had left, the woman stayed seated, her daughter resting her head on her lap, half asleep now. Aaron hesitated before walking over, drying his hands on a towel. "Rough day?" he asked gently. She gave a soft laugh, the kind that sounded closer to a sigh. "You could say that. It's been a long few months." He didn't push. He just nodded, listening the way people do when they truly mean it. "I used to be a teacher," she said after a pause, "until things fell apart. Rent went up, work disappeared. I've been trying to hold on for her." She brushed a loose strand of hair from her daughter's forehead. "We come here sometimes just to feel normal again." Erin looked at the sleeping girl, her face peaceful, the pink of her sweater bright against the dim cafe, and felt something stir inside him. "My mother used to say," he murmured, "that sometimes a table isn't just for food. It's where you remember you still belong somewhere." The woman looked up at him, eyes glistening. For the first time that day, she smiled, not the polite kind, but the kind that carries both pain and gratitude. The clock ticked softly. The rain eased to a drizzle. Erin didn't offer pity, and she didn't ask for help. But before she left, he slipped something small into her handbag. A folded note with a name, a number, and the words, "If you ever need work, come by." The next morning, when she opened it, she cried quietly, not out of sadness, but because someone had finally seen her. A week later, she returned. The bell above the cafe door chimed again, and Erin turned instinctively. There she was, standing straighter this time, her daughter beside her, wearing the same pink sweater but smiling wider than before. "I think," she said softly, "you might need help with the morning shift." Erin smiled. "I was hoping you'd say that," and just like that, in a world that often forgets to be kind, two strangers found a reason to believe in it again. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support keeps stories of compassion and hope alive. Special request, tell us in the comments. Have you ever met a stranger whose kindness changed your life, even for a moment?